How you doing, everybody? It's Wardy here, and I shouldn't even ask you how you're doing because it's probably not nearly as good as it should be because of the breaking news that we have to get into, which was absolutely horrendous for me to roll out of bed today after my first day in Port St. Lucie, getting set for today's game, and right before I'm getting my day started, bam! Tim Healy drops a bomb on us initially that I posted after the fact that you guys see beside me on X. Francisco El Troll Alvarez is out 6 to 8 weeks with a broken hamate bone. Are you kidding me right now? Please tell me this is a joke. Please tell me that I simply haven't woken up yet from a long night, because otherwise this is brutal for the Mets to kickstart their season and not have Alvarez back there for the first 2 months. This is a continuation of the hand injuries with Alvy and another year where we're going to be left wondering what could have been if Alvarez was healthy throughout the true course of a 162. Mets fans, let me see all your frustration, all your reactions in the comments down below. It's greatly appreciated as we're going to deep dive not only our further reactions to this, but hear from Carlos Mendoza's mouth himself as to his initial reaction to the news and what is next for the Mets. So actually, let's go ahead and do exactly that, and then we'll break down more as to what this means for the Mets from a fan reaction standpoint, and ultimately what they're going to do next with the roster, now not having Alvarez for the next couple months.
Month plus.
Yeah, it's a big blow. You know, when your starting catcher goes down.
Yeah.
But guys will step up. Guys will get opportunities. We feel good with what we have in house. Pretty sure David and the group will be looking for outside as well, as he always does. But yeah, I mean, you hate to see it. You hate to see one of your players, anybody, especially in this case for Alvy. But again, it's an opportunity for someone else to step up.
Then maybe some of the pitchers, just because you had so much pitching depth, whereas Alvarez is your frontline guys is tough to accept.
Like I said, I mean, it's always hard. It's always tough when one of you guys goes down like that, But again, you got to keep going. Nobody's gonna feel sorry for us. So everybody deals with injuries. We'll get him back.
If you guys can tell, I'm really not enjoying the fact that we have to talk about this at all. And the main reason is this is not the first rodeo when it comes to Francisco Alvarez and hand injuries. This has been an unfortunate common occurrence. This is something that he's dealt with multiple times in his career, headlined by last year rounding first base against the Dodgers in the Mets' first series in LA in the first half of the year. He's rounding first. He gets tripped up. So as he's falling down, trying to break his fall, he uses his hand to break said fall, which ultimately pretty much breaks his thumb, tears tendons in there. I'm not exactly sure what happened with his thumb last year, but I know he had to go down for a procedure and he was out for a significant period of time. Now Alvarez with that broken hamate bone on his catching hand, mind you, it is in fact his left hand, his glove hand, and now he's going to be out 2 months. And as Mendoza alluded to already, whether that's internal options or external options that the Mets are absolutely weighing, they're going to be doing them all right now. So fully expect the Mets to bring in a veteran catcher before spring training is over. It's really hard to see that not being the case, whether they acquire someone that's still available in the free agent market or someone maybe via trade that we really don't have an idea of right now. I'm not going to go too down the rabbit hole in speculation as to what external options could be best for the Mets on the catching end, but obviously this is a massive blow to them, and if they didn't have Luis Torrens, they would be even in greater trouble. So now when you look at the catching configuration, as it currently stands, you got Luis Torrens leading the way, and then behind him right now, if I'm not mistaken, is Chris Williams, who the Mets acquired last year. Williams has been a low contact hitting but solid power hitting catcher that we've seen in the minor leagues the past number of years, and he's also hit pretty well so far this spring training. When it comes to his defensive ability, I can't speak on it too much because it's not like we've been locked in on him nearly to the same degree as we have with guys in Alvarez, and even to a lesser degree now as someone in Luis Torrens. But now they are without El Troll for the next 2 months, and now they are without a guy who catches and calls the game beautifully when he's right with his pitching staff. This is absolute gut punch to see for them to kickstart the year like this. Thankfully, Alvarez isn't the end all be all when it comes to this lineup. I think the Mets will be able to move forward without him. But again, another year now where Alvarez put so much pride and joy into his hitting mechanics that we saw in Atlanta this past offseason, working at the facilities that JD Martinez highly recommended him, completely changed his swing, a lot more compact, to look great seeing it in person, and bam, to come to find out that he's not even going to be able to show showcase those offensive abilities until already as we're getting into the season. That is crushing to see. And then you add in all the great aspects that Alvarez brings, not only the charismatic extrovert personality, but a guy who's always trying to go out there every single day to grind and win. To not have him and to be deferred to now Luis Torrens and Chris Williams is not going to be enough for this Mets team. Could it carry them over the next 2 months? Technically speaking, yes, but do I think that's going to be a glaring hole in the process? Do I think Luis Torrens is going to get exposed by being more the minor league catcher that he's been this year because of increased playing time and maybe not having the magic that he did begin last year? Yes, it wouldn't shock me to see that happen either. I'm not exactly sure how much of Torrens is going to be this lightning in the bottle, awesome backup option for us versus we looked and saw great things from him in the early goings of acquiring him last year. Now is reality going to set in where he is really more of a guaranteed out as soon as he's up there? The catching, obviously we know Torrens can throw out guys, which is a great aspect to his game. Defensively, he's certainly poised and he's there. Offensively, we've seen him make great strides, but will that continue this season, especially in a bigger pressure cooker, knowing that to begin the year, Alvarez is out for a couple months? That's a fair question that I think a lot of us Mets fans have, as well as Chris Williams. If he's going to be the backup catching option for this Mets team, how much playing time or how little time is he going to get? How much are the Mets going to go about platooning their catching tandem? And ultimately, how long is it going to be before David Stearns makes a move for an external target, as that feels like the inevitable route they're going to find themselves in, because they at minimum need more depth at AAA level if you're going to have Williams start the year with the team. So that right there is exactly why you can fully expect the Mets to land a catcher before opening day. Now the great question that I have for each and every one of you, who's it going to be? Thank you guys again for watching. Please let me know all your continued thoughts in the comments down below. So to be on heartbreaking and frustrating news that Francisco Alvarez, El Troll, is out for north of 2 months. Thank you guys again for watching, and be on the lookout as I will be live in Port St. Lucie from Duffy's Sports Bar with the Bowling Alley, 8 p.m. Eastern today for a Mets spring training panel. We're going to talk more on Alvarez and potentially external solutions now that we found out this news. Our key takeaways from today's Mets game that we'll be attending: myself, Mike from Stark Raving Sports, Jim from Ball Gap Sports, Robbie Hyde may be joining us, maybe some current players as well, so be on the lookout for it. We're going to be interacting with subscribers there, as well as actually playing a bowling game with whoever shows up that is a follower of ours once we're done with our live show there at the Duffy Sports Bar, the big one in Port St. Lucie. Hope to see you guys there, but thank you guys again for watching. As always, no matter what, let's go Mets. Peace out, everybody.